Hi, I'm Manny. My name's actually Manuela, but everyone calls me Manny, and you're welcome to also. I hope you do. I started Midlife with Manny because a couple of years ago I was about to turn 50, and it occurred to me that I must be just about due for that menopause thing. Because a lot of us in our 30s back then, we thought menopause only happened when you turned 50 and you would get really hot a lot, and then one day you'd wake up and your period would just have disappeared, which I thought, sounds great to me, not a problem. But just in case, I wanted to be a responsible adult and check it out with the doctor. So I called into a local clinic. It was over the phone because it was during COVID. And I asked the question, is there anything I should be doing or taking to help my body through menopause? And the female doctor, who was a little bit older than me, asked, are you planning on getting pregnant? Of course, I was thinking, is she on drugs? Who at 50 that wants to get pregnant? But I just said, no, thanks, I'm good. I've got 2 kids. They're grown up now. And she said, oh, well, in that case, you no longer need your estrogen or progesterone, and any symptoms you're experiencing are a normal part of the aging process, I'm afraid. Is there anything else I can help you with today? That was it. That was the extent of my introduction or education around menopause, because the only bit of female anatomy education I'd had earlier was when I was in year 6. And in Australia here, they used to make us watch this movie called Where Did I Come From? You know, the one with the little naked baby climbing through the words. And that was where I learned what estrogen did. So when I hung up from that phone call with the doctor, I was like, okay, I know what estrogen is. It's my female sex hormone. It's made in my ovaries. It helped me get pregnant. But what the bloody hell is progesterone? I had no idea. The doctor assumed I did. So I had to Google it. In that Google search, I found out that one of the main functions of progesterone is to maintain the integrity of the uterus. I thought, I still have one of those. Could be important. And then I thought, I wonder if there's anything about estrogen I don't know. So I Googled that. Was there ever? There's lots about estrogen I didn't know. It is so much more than a female sex hormone. It's actually involved in helping us to maintain our bone density and our muscle mass. It's also involved in our sleep rhythms and cycles. It's involved with our body temperature maintenance. It helps with our clarity of thinking. There is so much more to it. I had no idea, and I'm betting that there's a lot of women out there who also have no idea. So when, of course, I talk to other women my age, they're going, oh yeah, I don't know what progesterone is either. And of course now I can tell them, because it's been a couple of years since then, and I've been doing a lot of research. I've actually gone down a little bit of a rabbit warren of information, and I'm so glad that I have. So hence why I've started Midlife with Manny, so I can share what I'm learning as I go. There's a lot of information out there. We're all time poor. Not all of us love to read either. I have a sister and a daughter who are dyslexic. Reading is a bit of a chore. It's exhausting at times. And even if you have an audiobook access, you may not always want to do that. So hopefully what I'm hoping to do with this channel is to give you information very succinctly that's going to help you maximize your body and your quality of life. Not just your perimenopause and your menopause, but let's also start looking at other things that make up your life, because it can all become a bit of a cataclysmic experience if you're not prepared and ready. And my real mission is to make sure that my daughter and your daughters and your nieces don't have to be as confused or in the dark about this information as what we have been. So there's going to be lots of shorter videos, I'm hoping, on the channel. I'm going to do things on the Facebook and on the Insta as well, just to share with you what I'm learning as I go. Hopefully it'll help you, and hopefully you'll be able to share it with someone that you know, so that we can be forewarned about what's coming, forearmed with information and education, so we can make good decisions, make good choices for ourselves, so that we can be basically formidable in our lives. Because when I also went down and had a look at this impact on women and our lives, I learned that 46% of women will not take on a promotion, 23% will reduce their hours of paid work by half, and 11% will leave the workforce entirely because of the impact of their symptoms. That has a huge financial impact. In our country, here in Australia, even since before COVID, and we have a cost of living crisis everywhere at the moment, it's not just in Australia, but even before COVID, women aged 55 and over continue to be the fastest growing demographic of homelessness in our country. So taking women out of the workforce is not serving them. It's not helping us to live our best life. We know we don't have as much superannuation as males. Our medical care can actually cause us or require us to take money out of our superannuation savings to help supplement our income. 70% of Australians are living 2 pay cycles away from defaulting on their mortgages. That means that we don't have necessarily the funds to also go and see a specialist doctor. And just because you get a referral to a gynecologist doesn't mean that they're going to have the answers for you about perimenopause and menopause that we're looking for, because as all of us have learned in the last couple of years, our medical fraternity hasn't really been geared up for menopause. They're not really training our doctors about it. And I understand why. I get why it hasn't been a priority if you look at medicine over the last couple of 100 years. 200 years ago, our average lifespan was 35. Not to say we all died at 35, of course we didn't, but we had more women dying in childbirth. We had a higher number of infant deaths, poverty, disease. So it makes sense that the medical profession was really concentrating on making sure that our ability to survive longer was a priority, so that the mums also were around to look after the babies that they were giving birth to. So I totally get that. But after that, since then, even 100 years ago, our lifespan extended to 47. Now we've been told that we should expect to live into our 90s, even beyond 100. But here's the thing, from a biological perspective, our bodies were never really much designed past living 35-ish, because 10,000 years ago, we lived to be about 25 to 30 was the average human lifespan. So we've more than doubled our lifespan. Our hormones are playing a huge role in supporting our ability to stay alive. It's not just nutrition, though that's important, and it's not just sleep, also vitally important. But vitamins are vitamins, minerals are minerals, hormones are hormones. Your estrogen factory, your ovaries, when it shuts down shop, which is what it's basically doing during perimenopause, it's only spluttering out hormones, the estradiol hormone that's made in the ovaries. When that factory closes down, you can deliver all the vitamins and minerals to the door of that factory that you like, but there is no conversion. It's not going to be converted. And so here's an interesting thing. Your body, as a female going through perimenopause, will put on average 5 to 6 kilograms of body fat. And that body fat is because body fat makes estrone, which is an inferior form of estrogen. It's your body's way of doing a final shout out saying, right, everyone on deck, we've got to help this girl. She's down on her hormones. We need our estrogen for our bone density and our muscle mass. From the age of 30, we are already losing, on average, 1% of our bone density every year without intervention. So think sedentary job, don't have a lot of time, maybe you're not exercising, maybe it's not your thing. From the age of 50, we're going to lose closer to 20% of our bone density within 5 years. So think about that cumulatively and what impact that has on our rates of osteoporosis and fractures. Okay, so I'm definitely going to do some information video sharing about our rate of fractures, because that absolutely has an impact on our lifespan. The other thing that's really important to me is sharing with women the impact and the positive impact it can have on your life is hormone replacement therapy. Okay, so 20 years ago, the Women's Health Initiative, the WHO, released a report to say that HRT increased your rate of breast cancer. But here's the thing. The actual result, the actual rate of breast cancer increase was 1 extra person in every 1,000. Consider also, though, that the people that they were researching on were not women who had just finished menstruating. These were women who were potentially already in their 60s, had been in menopause for 10 years without any hormone replacement at all. They already had pre-existing conditions like potentially worse outcome markers for cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance, overweight, they were carrying extra weight. So these women already had comorbidities, and then they were given replacement hormone therapies. 999 women should not miss out on the benefits of hormone replacement therapy for 1 risk in 1,000, especially when now we know that whilst breast cancer is not curable, it has a 90% remission rate. Alzheimer's disease, which is actually the biggest killer of women, has no remission rate. None. Things like poor sleep, which many women complain of in their menopausal years or their perimenopausal transition, poor sleep is a precursor in increasing up to 40 to 50% your risk of getting Alzheimer's. We need to do everything we can to try to avoid that. It's going to be a multi-pronged approach. We have to look at hormone therapy. We're going to have to look at diet. We'll definitely have to look at our exercise because we're getting tighter as we get older. Don't want to do as much. We need to look at our testosterone levels. I'm definitely talking about testosterone. I've just had an experience with that myself, and it's been a positive one in my outlook and my mood and my ability to get out there and do hard things. I want to share all these things that I'm learning with you because I just don't think that it's acceptable that women should have to suffer through their midlife. If I'm going to live to be 90 to 100, I need to be able to financially provide for myself so that we're not in relationships that are not serving us or even making us unsafe, unhappy, potentially losing our lives. That's not okay. It's not okay for the women that I love or know who have worked hard all their lives to potentially be at risk of homelessness because of not having enough superannuation. Cost of living keeps rising. We have to do better. We need more women to stay employed. We need women to be able to also claim their seats at those tables of the senior jobs. those senior positions. And we need to make sure that the younger women are doing what they can to protect their bodies as they're getting older. That's our job now. Our job is to share what we've learned, what we've experienced, and pass it on to the girls. So I'm hoping you'll stay along and enjoy the journey with me, dare I say. It's going to be a lot to learn and a lot to share, but I really think that the benefits are going to be worth it. So I'm looking forward to having you along. Have a great day. Bye.